Well, David Lillie is Executive Director at the Syrian American Medical Society. He joins us now from Washington. Thanks very much for being with us. So based on these reports and on the work that you have done here, just how desperate is this situation for civilians living there?
I agree 100% with some of the earlier comments. It is a worsening nightmare. To date, since late April, when the escalation expanded, the Syrian American Medical Society medical facilities that it supports have treated alone over 3,500 injured. These are civilians. To date, from late April, 700 civilians have been killed. Over 300 have been women and children. And what's worse is that these individuals are treated at medical facilities that are facing shortages of supplies, of equipment, and pharmaceuticals to treat them, and yet they are under threat, daily threat of being targeted. Since late April, 39 medical facilities have been targeted, have been attacked, 14 of which have shared their coordinates with the United Nations. Last year, the United Nations asked for medical facilities to share facilities. Many of those from the Syrian American Medical Society did share the facilities with the agreement of the directors of those facilities. And so far, 39 facilities have been hit, 14 of which had shared their coordinates with the warring parties.
The UN Human Rights Chief says that the world remains largely indifferent to all of this. In your view, why is that?
It's hard to say. The tragedy in Syria has been going on since 2011. What we call for, the Syrian American Medical Society, as an apolitical, neutral party that follows international humanitarian law, what we call for is outrage. We call for the international community to investigate, for the United Nations to hold the warring parties accountable for the atrocities that they are committing, especially attacks on civilians, especially attacks on medical facilities, on schools. Can you imagine that since this war has started, nearly 1,000 medical professionals have been killed simply trying to treat those who have been injured in this war? One of the most dangerous places in Syria to be is a medical facility. Nearly 400 medical facilities have been hit, have been attacked in this war so far.
What sort of access, if any, have you been able to get to people in those areas, particularly in the medical facilities, and what sort of accounts have you been getting from them?
We've been hearing from them daily. As a commentator said earlier, the situation has escalated even worse in the past week. On a daily basis, we're hearing of medical facilities that have been attacked, have been targeted, or who are treating hundreds of injured on a daily basis. So just yesterday, we heard of an account of a family of which a community literally had to dig from the rubble to try and save, most of whom eventually died. It is just a daily tragedy, and we're looking for the outrage. We are looking for accountability from all parties, from the international community, to provide help. This is such a dire situation. People need water, sanitation, they need shelter. Since this has started, over 350,000 people in the past 3 months have been displaced, 20% of whom have already been displaced in this war in northwest Syria.
Good to speak with you, David Lillie, joining us there from Washington. Thanks for being with us.